I'd like to welcome you guys to this week's report. Today is January 2nd, 2025, Thursday. Hope you all had a great New Year. I was pretty uneventful. Of getting sick on Sunday morning. I took my dad shooting the Angeles Crest rifle range. He's 95 years old, and he hadn't been going lately because of about a year ago he had to get a pacemaker put in, and he was getting kind of light-headed and short of breath up there, going, walking out 100 yards to his target. So we finally went back this weekend. He had a great time. Plans to resume shooting there. He likes to shoot rifles, and there's nowhere to do that local. I got a little video here of him shooting a custom bull barrel 308 that he built, or had his gunsmith put together on an old military rifle with the big barrel.
This thing had a... And I went out and earplugs once because I saw a rabbit. I was like, wow, the weight's loud. So this came with it, so I took that off. I went...
Yeah, so the reason I post that is one of my New Year's resolutions here this year is to try and spend more time with my parents. They're both getting on in the years. It's real easy as you get busy in life to kind of forget about that. So same to you guys out there. Think about some stuff that might not just be about you, but might be helpful to somebody else, an older person or someone who could use your help. Another New Year's resolutions. I'm saying it to keep myself motivated to do it. I'm going to lose some weight here. It's funny, when I had my knee replaced last year, the year leading up to that, I got very little exercise. My leg was just in bad shape. I'd go lift weights at the gym, but I couldn't get any cardio or anything like that. And then when I got after the knee replacement, I've just not put enough effort into to take the weight back off. So my goal here this year is to try and lose at least 30 pounds, which is what I put on since this time 2 years ago. So see how that goes. I know I need to lose a lot more than that, but it's a starting point. Anyway, when it comes to boating, there's also some things to take care of in the new year. It's a good time of year to, if you're a private boater, to check your flares, make sure they're not expired. If you have an air horn, make sure it still works. If you get stopped by the Coast Guard, you're going to want to see it. And also, if you have the suspender type auto-inflate life jackets, you need to check your canisters and make sure that they are still in the green. Also, your fire extinguisher. I got boarded this year. Luckily, all my stuff was up to par. But I really don't know if it is anymore, so I'm going to go check it again here before I head up again. That being said, my boat is going to be in the driveway for a few weeks here because we're going to replace the upholstery and do a bunch of deferred maintenance to it. So if I'm going to fish, I'll be calling my buddies Chris Oakes and Jimmy Decker to take me out. Something else that somebody brought up last week, California is requiring everybody to have a boater card if you run your own boat. It's stupid, but they're requiring it. I think it's just a money grab. But I think it's $50 or $100, and there's a course you got to take online. Yeah, like I said, it's stupid, but you should look into the California boater ID card because I think it's going to get to the point where there's probably going to be a warning period, but then it's going to be the point where they're going to have people wait at the dock, and if you don't have your card on you, they're going to send you home. So just something to keep in mind there. I'm sure you can look up that on our state website. So the weather is going to be okay this weekend in most areas. There's some patches of wind, but I don't know how realistic they are. They seem to be in odd positions at odd times of day as usual. So the one consistent thing, it looks like it's nice along the beach all weekend. Sunday might be the better weather day, at least last time I looked this morning. The islands may be fishable or they may not be, depending on the accuracy of that weather forecast. So I would definitely check before you head out. All right, so on to the fishing. We're going to start at Channel Islands. They're closing out a great cod season. But now what? It's January. The only thing other than you can keep bass, you can keep yellowtail, you can keep white sea bass, you can keep halibut, and you can keep whitefish. You can keep barracuda and bonita too, but I don't think you're going to catch a lot of those. Maybe why not just throw albacore in the mix and keep those. But that bluefin tuna and yellowfin tuna. And yeah, Opa, swordfish. Can't think of anything else that would qualify here. Blue perch, blacksmith perch, mackerel, tom cod, lizardfish, obviously. But anyway, that aside, a lot of squid up at the Channel Islands right now, and the Aloha Spirit used that to catch a few sea bass the other day. They're trying to run trips targeting sea bass and halibut, calico bass. I'm sure whitefish will be in the mix. I forgot to mention you can catch opalite perch. The problem the boat's going to have, I can almost guarantee, is getting off the dock. So, unless they can do a ripper bite, or it's consistent sea bass fishing, which I don't see right now. So what I would do is I would call that landing if you want to go up there and ask which day of the week they have the best opportunity of getting off the dock and book that day. I know it's easy enough to go to a website and say, oh, this, that, and the other thing, but sometimes websites don't give you all the details as to, hey, I talked to Joe, he might be going, and blah, blah, blah. So, maybe bring a couple of friends, help the boat get off the dock, go out and have some fun with light load, maybe catch sea bass or halibut. Yeah, so heading down south, I'm not going to cover Nick or Santa Barbara Island because that's basically rockfish land and no one's going to be there. A lot of the bass guys did their yearly trip to San Clemente Island yesterday. Benny Florentino, Eric Diamond with Tim, and Randy Spicer and Matt Florentino were out there. The Montrose. I know somebody else was out there, but I can't remember who they were. Lane Killian and whoever he was fishing with. And they had, decent bass fishing over there for this time of year. I talked to Matt Florentino. He said they had 50 fish up to about 5 pounds.
That looks dope. Good job, dude. Hell yeah.
Dude. And he tried to sell me so bad.
Chuck and wind, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, the guy's got him on his nose. Hold on.
Dino just caught a 5.
Mostly on lead head and swim baits. See, they're using that War Baits neck breaker in a 1 ounce with a kicker. They call it a booty spin, but what it basically is one of their pickle kick weedless baits with a tail cut off and a blade installed on the back. I'm not a fan of that type of bait. They obviously did well with it. I think that spinner blade pulls a little too hard for my taste, but obviously worked for them. But yeah, they did a 2-hour long live stream from there with 2 different boats on camera at the same time. It wasn't great fishing. They didn't set the world on fire. But it's on the Kicker Fishing Instagram page. If you guys are on Instagram, Kicker Fishing, K-I-C-K-E-R Fishing. What that video will show you is how some of these, guys that are real dedicated bass fishermen fish. So while it's not going to be a highlight reel, it certainly might give you some information about how to approach spots. There's a time in the video where Matt and Randy are fishing up against a point break on the downward side of it, on the past break side of it, and catching bass. And it kind of shows you how to safely approach spots that may look treacherous to you from if you're on your own boat. The one thing I will say is, these guys fish a lot differently than I do. They're very patient. I'm watching them for half an hour, and I'm like, man, I would have fished half the island by now. Because if I don't catch a fish in the first 5 or 6 casts, and let me talk about that for a second. We always joke about it. If you got 3 guys on the boat and each of you make 6 casts, that's 24 casts. No, that's 18 casts. Sorry, that's all. There I am, the math wizard. That's almost 20 casts in the spot. How many casts do you need to make before you realize there's not any biting fish there? So, yeah, these guys like to fish with a trolling motor. I don't have one. But it's just a different mindset. But they're much more, they sit there and pick it apart, figure out little things. Might get a bite, 5 or 10 casts in the same spot before you get that bite. I'll never get that bite, but it's maybe it's a better way of doing it. So just a different way of looking at things. So locally, I fished PV on Saturday. Wasn't going to go, decided to go, got up there at about 10 o'clock. started at Furman, was all the way up to Rocky by 10:45, and knowing I will not catch a single bass up there just because of conditions. We made probably 5 or 6 stops in different areas, but yeah, I was telling it. That big swell has everything mixed up. And the swell was still so big that most of the areas that I like to fish shallow I couldn't get into. There were surfers in spots where you never see surfers, and there was a lot of that yellow foam that's gross from just torn up beach stuff, not really looking like anything you'd catch fish in. And pretty much everywhere had so much loose kelp and surf grass that you couldn't throw a hard bait without coming back buried. We ended up going back down and fishing little rocks in front of the break wall. You can find them on your or your C-map chart or your Davionics chart. Just little isolated spots. We're dropping a slug on them. Got a few bites. It wasn't great. Matt got this one nice calico was probably the standout on the 8-inch slug, and yeah, we just pulled the plug on it. We were back in the harbor in about 2.5 hours after we launched. Just wasn't great. Talked to a couple guys that fish deeper spots. They did better. That's just not something I really want to focus on. It's just not fun for me anymore. I did so much that when I was fishing tournaments that the shine is kind of off that penny. So it's I'd rather just not catch anything or fish the way I want to fish. So speaking of people who like to fish in the way they want to fish, my friend Dave Valdez went out on New Year's Day afternoon. He's usually one of the guys that makes that Clemente run, but he did a nighttime trip, and he's a fly fisherman. And so imagine that, fly fishing at night in January. It doesn't sound like, I don't know if it matters. I can't catch calico bass on anything at all during the day. I just got to catch nice ones like this on the fly in the dark. So I'm not a fly fishing expert, but that's a pretty cool accomplishment. It's a good job there, Dave. Sport boat wise, you're going to have halibut, and you're going to have whitefish, and I don't even sculpin are allowed right now. I think they are. I forgot to mention them. The halibut trips are going to be the guys doing those derbies. Native Sun, I think it's the Sun Fun, or one of those boats that Dana Point does it as well. I know that Victory's doing some kind of sand bass and sculpin combo trip there with some prizes. I think that the 3/4-day boats are probably going to try and catch sculpin and sand bass, and also go and pillage the whitefish population. And mark my words here, it's been good whitefish fishing in most areas, and I think that the people that watch this stuff are going to be watching the fish reports, and they're going to see, hey, we shut down rock cod, and we shut down this, we shut down that. Look at how many whitefish they're catching. We better put a stop to that, or they're going to run out of whitefish. So I don't know. Sport boats need to report they're catching fish to get off the dock, apparently. Maybe it's the mindset of their passengers. But boy, wouldn't it be nice to say, hey, we're catching some whitefish, and not just, that's what happens with reds. Everybody started advertising reds all over the internet because they were, that got more people than rockfish did. And then suddenly, look at all these reds that are being caught, they shut that down. Nice to see me starting off the new year with a rant, because I'm hungry. Yeah, this weight loss thing's not easy. Down in San Diego, the San Diego out of Mission Bay there caught a yellowtail the other day. So that's still a thing. I think that boat, if they can get off the dock down there, those local trips, can catch the occasional yellowtail as well as bass and whitefish. I'm sure that the boats somebody's going to start running down New Mexican waters to fish rockfish now that they're closed in U.S. waters. I don't know who's on board to do that right now. Haven't seen anything. It might be in San Diego. I mean, who knows? And they're going to look for yellow coronados. So finally down south, that yellowfin and bluefin is still around. The guys from Angler Center took a trip on the Intrepid, I think, 4-day trip, and they had wide open yellowfin fishing on the second day of the trip. I don't know, some of the long-range boats have been getting bluefin as well. So that stuff's still around. It's not close. It's like 300 miles away. But the fact that it's that close, especially the yellowfin, is a good sign that stuff is not getting too far out of range. I don't know if that means it's going to come back up here, but I mean, normally once those yellowfin take off, they're gone. I mean, you got to run down 400 plus miles before you find them again. So see how that goes. Anyway, new year, new opportunities to go out and fish, new opportunities to become better as an angler, become better as a person. Just, take this downtime of the season to get your boat together, get your rods and reels, service, support your local tackle shops, try and get some boats off the dock down there if you're a sport boat guy. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you guys have a great weekend and good luck if you fish.